Welcome to Rise to Lead, the podcast where heart-driven leaders come together to inspire and innovate. They will share actionable tips and insights that help you lead your team more successfully, advance your career or business as a leader, achieve greater impact, and experience deeper fulfillment. I'm your host, Regina Huber, guiding you through deep conversations about leadership that's rooted in service, freedom, and the desire to leave a positive mark on the world. Hi, and welcome to my second episode of my brand new Rise to Lead podcast. Today, I want to share some of the secrets behind a compelling leader presence. First, let me say that I'm extremely grateful and honored to have you with me today. And I'm delighted that you're joining me here, and hopefully you get value so you will join me for many, many more episodes in the future. Very soon, I'm also going to have amazing guests on, and I know you and I will learn so much from them. And yeah, I'm just really excited about that. Some wonderful experts and amazing human beings have already confirmed that they want to be a part of this. They have accepted my invitation. So I'll schedule them very soon so you can benefit from their wonderful knowledge and wisdom as well. Some of them are Angel Radcliffe, Rosie Zelinskas, Asnat Mahaba, Marco Robinson, Angel Hartwell, Zoe Routh, Lisa Genza, Susan Davis, Miles Austin, and Scott Ferguson. Scott is a top-ranked podcaster and friend. Now he's been doing this, of course, for a while. Let's see how long it takes me to get to that level myself. Angel Hartwell is also one of the star podcasters, and all of them are stars as leaders. Each of these people is a leader in their own right, in their very own and unique way, and they're all very heart-centered, which is what counts for us here. Maybe I should also explain to you why I decided to launch this podcast in the first place. Where am I coming from? Who am I, if you maybe don't know me? So why am I doing this? Well, I grew up on a farm in a tiny village in Bavaria, Germany. And I was the shyest kid around. But my adventurous spirit and my insatiable curiosity pushed me to live an eclectic and very adventurous life. It pushed me out into the world. And I've lived across several continents. I've experienced different cultures in Europe, the US, Latin America, and Africa, and I've taken a ton of risks. Some of which worked out, some of it not so great, but there were still always lessons in how they worked out. I've seen all kinds of leadership, from genuinely good to downright manipulative and evil. At age 27, I was promoted to a leadership role at a global consulting firm, Boston Consulting Group, even though I had no relevant background. But I managed to succeed, and my team still respects me, and this is really, this means a lot to me. It means the world to me, actually. It shows that while I wasn't perfect in my leadership role without the experience or the studies, my intentions were good, and they came from the heart. And my team felt that. People can tell if, when you as a leader have their back, when you want to support them, when you do your best and you want the best for them as well. Later, I became a business owner, building businesses in Argentina, Brazil, and also in the United States, New York City. I also studied various methodologies like conversational intelligence for trust building, for communicating better, and holistic modalities that taught me about the role of energy and the power of not just our minds and our mindset, but also of our hearts. And I call this heartset. Understanding this on a deep level has made a huge difference for me and my coaching clients. My passion for dance has also taught me invaluable lessons about leadership, about business, about communication, and especially also nonverbal communication, and about executive presence. I am an initiator personality. So why would I not initiate a podcast, right? And I feel a deep sense of responsibility and calling in this work. I want to inspire many, many people like you to be even better leaders. You might already be a great leader, but there's always potential for us to grow. It never ends. And I also want you to be a thriving leader, not a stressed out leader. Now, as a transformational leadership coach and inspirational speaker with my business Transform Your Performance, I help my clients up-level their leadership of themselves and their teams. This helps them build happier and more engaged teams and ultimately achieve greater success and fulfillment as leaders, as authentic, heart-driven, and heart-centered leaders. I believe that as leaders, we are meant to work in the service of those we lead and in the service of freedom as well. Everything I do is in the service of freedom. Also in the service of to speak up, stand out, and shine, as the title of my first book goes. So this podcast is for you if you are looking for fresh inspiration around how to become a better leader of yourself and others, how to be successful as a heart-centered leader, and how to gain greater freedom and greater fulfillment as a leader at the same time. How to be bold, courageous as a leader, not just as a leader of others, as I said before, but also, and often most importantly, of ourselves. You don't need to have a team to be a leader. You could be a leader, in your family, for your friends, in some other capacity, right? Because when we master self-leadership, this creates a ripple effect. We become examples for others. We lead through example rather than just words. And, I just want to say, yes, words do matter. They are also very, very important. However, when a leader only leads with words and not with actions, not with their energy, then that leader's success is usually not very long-lived. It's not congruent and it's not credible. It doesn't come across as authentic, and therefore it's usually also not sustainable. So let's talk about what authentic even is, or authenticity is. It's a word that's thrown around so much. Why is it important for your leadership presence and for sustainable success as a leader? To me, and this is already going into the topic, today's topic, which is presence, right? Leader presence. To me, authenticity, or you could call it positive authenticity or useful authenticity, is when I show up as my best self. I show up as who I already am, but the best version of that, right? It's when people look at me and by doing that, they know that what they see is what they get. And of course, I don't want to share. It doesn't mean that I'm disclosing all my intimate secrets, all my dirty clothes. I'm not going to share all of that with them because that's none of their business. We all have some crap that we would not want others to know, right? Yeah. I feel you thinking about your crap right now, right? So let's be real. We all have it. No one I've ever met is perfect. And we're also not supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to be real and we're supposed to be authentic. That doesn't mean we have to share every little thing and all our intimate stuff, right? Being authentic to myself is to not just talk about good intentions and high standards and concepts and all of that, but to actually live them, to express them through who I am, to show them in my behavior and in my presence, in my attitude. So we actually, I actually almost don't have to talk about those things anymore. I don't have to talk about my values anymore necessarily, because they shine through me, through my presence. I said in my previous episode that I want to see more leaders who can look at themselves in the mirror and say, I'm giving my best. I may not be perfect, because no one is, but I'm doing the best I can right now. And I want to keep growing. So authenticity is also about this, because if we want to be respected as leaders, then people want to see our attentions and our actions and not just hear them in our words. That's pretty obvious, right? You expect that from leaders you look up to too, or you look over to if you don't like the up to. It's totally fine. The Spain experiments show that authenticity is the highest vibration you can produce. You can look it up on the internet. It's SPANE. Authenticity is an important element of leader presence, or leadership presence, if you prefer. Presence is about so many things. It's a complex construct of your appearance. I've made a few notes here because I don't want to forget about anything, but it's really a lot that flows into your presence. For example, your appearance, your body language, your outfit, the attitude, your energy, and much more. It's about how you show up and how you are perceived. How do you speak? What's your communication style? It's not just about the words themselves, the vocabulary. It's also about the style. It's about your voice, all of that, right? Your body language, your gestures, facial expressions, your posture, the way you move. What's the level of confidence you convey through your body language, through your voice, through your attitude, through the way you dress, maybe, and through the tone of and the way you use your voice, right? And of course, and almost most importantly, through your energy, the energy you convey, because the energy is always transmitted, if we realize it or not. It's a subconscious thing. That always happens. We cannot just switch it off. What's the attitude we see when we look at you or listen to you? Do you come across as kind, as friendly, as compassionate and inspiring, or do you rather come across as distant and cold? What's the mindset you convey through your attitude and through your presence because of that? Trustworthiness. Do you come across as trustworthy, as authentic, as credible? How do you introduce yourself in a networking situation or in a meeting? How do you listen? How can we see that you're fully present with the person you are speaking with, you're having a conversation with? Or maybe not. And yes, and this is super, super critical. What's the energy you emanate? I mentioned it a few times. I want to expand on this a little bit more because it's often neglected, especially in business. If your energy contradicts your words, then the energy will prevail. It will win, because your energy speaks louder and even also faster than your words. It fuels everything you think, you say, you do. It's perceived through your words, through your attitude, through your behavior, your actions. I've often heard people say that it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. And you've probably heard that before too. Many people say this. It takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. When in reality, it's much less than that, because it takes a mere 0.07 seconds for our brains to figure out whether we can trust someone. I'm going to say that again. It takes only 0.07 seconds for our brains to figure out whether we can trust someone. That's less than a blink of an eye, and it's about your energy. It must be this fast because it's part of our survival mechanism. What our brains pick up here is someone's energy. So yes, you want to be aware of your visuals, of course, right? How do you show up? Attire, grooming, all of that is important. And yes, also your words, your voice, your posture, your body language, all of that. But it's also about your energy. And your energy is in everything. This isn't so much about your level of energy, although that has a certain role as well, as it is about the quality of your energy. So it's really key to be fully present in your energy and in your body, in addition to your mind, especially in communication situations. All of these components, and I've probably forgotten a few, will flow together into your presence, into your leader presence. And when you get the individual components right, then your presence becomes compelling. It will be much easier to get your message across, to build trust, to connect with people. When you master these elements and combine them with energy that's on a high vibrational level and a high vibrational frequency, and you are connected to your inner power and your inner power energy, then that's when your presence becomes powerful and effective for your goals as a leader. It's going to be easier to get your message across, as I already said, and very importantly, to connect. I want to repeat that again. Your presence is about who you are and who you convey you are. We want to see who we are dealing with. We cannot trust you if we don't know who you are, what you stand for, whether you tell the truth, whether you are genuine with us, honest, right? This is why authenticity is so significant. It's a basis of trust. If you want to be a successful leader, you need to build that trust first. You need to build that trust with everyone you interact with, your team, other stakeholders in your organization or outside of it, business partners, your audience, your clients, whoever you deal with in your work. I hope this has been helpful to you. Think about it, and please do reach out if you have any questions or comments. I'm always open for that. Join me in the next episode as I'll be talking about the essence of bold and courageous leadership. I'm still going to do a few episodes by myself while I'm getting all the ducks in the row for guests to come on, but then you'll also see my wonderful guests, some of who I mentioned earlier. See you in episode 2. And if you're a leader and you would like to be a guest on this podcast yourself, reach out to me and let's have a chat to see if it's a fit. Thank you for tuning in to Rise to Lead. Keep shining your light, standing up for what's right, and inspiring others to step into their brilliance. If you like this episode, please give it a 5-star rating and subscribe to the Rise to Lead podcast on your preferred podcast app. Until next time, it's Regina Huber, and in the meantime, remember to rise to lead.